So the first question is, if you would like, tell me who you are.
Yes. Who I am. I am no one. Because I have given everything to God. So my I is no one. So when first I began to meditate, I very soon after met Jesus in meditation as a picture of my way to reach eternity. And I felt a longing for being one with God. It has been there all my life, but I didn't realize it. At that time I was about 44 years. And I remembered that already when I was about 57 or something like that, and an uncle died. I was in the church at the funeral, and then when we sang and when I was in the church, I was so happy. I could feel that God was near, and I could follow the calling. I could feel the I could feel the calling of God. And I didn't know that it was the call of God. I just realized that I was feeling happy, and it was a funeral, so I felt that it was absolutely unsuitable. So, and I couldn't help it, because when I'm near to God, I'm always joyful. I can't help it but smile, because I feel so happy. I feel so blessed. And that's also why I remember this episode, because it was so embarrassing for me, because it was a funeral. But when I started to meditate soon after, I met Jesus as the first, and I knew that I had to be interested in the Christianity somehow. That there was a calling for this way home to God. And my longing to be one with God was clear, and that was my path. So I had to follow. And I remember I thought, oh, that is dangerous, being one with God, then you have to die to be one with God. And I thought, I was preparing to be ready. And while I did all this preparing with meditation and with prayer, that I should get rid of all these sins of mine, all this prideness, all this righteousness. I wanted to be right all the time. And that was only self-justice, you know. So I prayed very often when I was at the queue in the supermarket, when I was at a bus stop, everywhere I went when I had a little break, I would pray to get rid of all this. And I longed so much. And suddenly a morning I was there, and I was not there. I was nobody, because There was only one. And it was quite simple. I was awakened this morning. I went out in my kitchen. I was about to make some bread for myself and some coffee. And suddenly I realized that something is different. Something is different from yesterday. What is it? Oh, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. I'm just aware. And it was such a release. I could feel the freedom. I could feel what it is to be saved. How much the ego was controlling my life up till then. It was making all the management and also managing God. And that's not the way to do things. The Lord should be the manager. And the ego should be the servant. The ego is a creation. When we are created as children, we get this creation at the same time. We grow and we get our language and we get the culture we are living in and we get the environment and we get all our, what is that called, biological nature. And that is our appearance. But that is not who we are, because we are beyond all that. And that's where we are one with God. And it's not difficult, because when I still had some things back that I had not been free of, that day came and I felt that God just removed the rest of the dust from me and I was free. And a lot of understanding of wisdom just came my way. I didn't have to do anything for it. All the knowledge I had in the past, that's a tool for the existence in the creation. That's good, but that's servants. Everything of that is servants. And it needs to be that way, otherwise you will not realize the one you really are, because we are all pictures of God. And different pictures. When you look at people, you can see how different they are. You can see the different animals, you can see different trees, you can see everything in the creations are different expressions of God's picture. And God lives in everything. And whether you like it or not, you have to take some of God's life to live, because you have to eat. So that's also our conditioning. We have to do that. And if you stay with God, there's peace. Because you always have God with you in your heart. And you always have this inner peace and this inner eternity. Always have this connection. And it's beautiful.
You have, of course, touched upon this a lot already, Majken, but the next question is if you would please tell me what you are.
Yeah, I can't give any other answer. I am one with God, and God is living in me, and I am living in God. And so are you.
Which leads me to the third question, which is, could you please tell me what another is? Another?
Another is a brother. We all have the same connection with God. It's only a question about realizing what connection we have with God. And when we do that, we don't want to leave it anymore. We just want to be there. But it takes a long maturity during the life, maturing during the life, to stay with God. Because still the ego don't want to be a servant. It's like the devil. It's Satan. It's temptations. And when Jesus went to the desert after he was baptized by John, then he was tempted by the devil. He was tempted by Satan, who promised him everything on earth, all the lovely things he could get on earth, be a king, be in a castle, all these things. Things. And Jesus turned him down. And we have to do the same if we want to be one with God. And Jesus instructed his disciples and everybody who wanted to follow him, he instructed to leave everything behind. Because we can't take any baggage with us into heaven, into the kingdom of God. Because the kingdom of God is not of this world. It's of eternity. And the flood from eternity is streaming into this world, giving it the life. It's a creation taking place all the time.
Kan jeg godt lige afbryde et sekund?
Vi har kamera på.
You know how to put petrol on the car? It's while I remember it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and this you touch upon the last question also, Majken, which is if you would please tell me what life is.
Life is a dance between eternity and eternity. And eternity is just one. We come from eternity, we go to eternity. Before life we are there, after life we are there. And in our life we still have a connection to eternity, and in that connection God is. And in eternity we can't be apart. We can only be one, and there we are one with God. And eternity is always in our heart. So there is a way to live the life from the heart, from God. Listen to God, obey His little voice inside. And enjoy. He will bless you. Does it answer your question, or did I forget it?
No. It does. Thank you so much, Majken.
You're so welcome. So life is a dance between eternity and eternity.
Yes.
Don't take it too heavy.
No.
Don't be too serious. So that you shall not forget to live, to create, to be one with God in this process that He started. And where He loves to express Himself and be one with all of us. And the animals, and the trees, and everything around us. That's God's life. You're living God's life. And He is living your life. And He is never judging, because there is no judge in eternity. It's borderless. It's timeless. It's beyond. And God is beyond. So thank you for the questions.
Thank you.